welcome back to the channel. The plan today, and probably the foreseeable future, is to finally read Powerless, Powerful, and Reckless by Lauren Roberts. This has been a long time coming. It's just, yeah, it's been one of those things where I want to read it, haven't had the time, haven't had the fantasy push to read them, so here we are. But I think that it would be fun to get my reactions of all three in one video, so that's what we're gonna do. I've heard incredible things about these books, and Reckless just came out a couple of weeks ago. I think that the author actually just announced technically the third book, because Powerful is a novella, so I guess she's announced the third book, and I already can't remember the name of it, but that should also be coming out somewhat soon. I think, was it early 2025? I don't know. I'll have to look that up at some point in this video. But I have already started Powerless. I am only 75 pages in, so I don't really have too much of an opinion yet. It's been really quick reading so far. I think that the magic system sounds really interesting, and basically so far all you know is that the main female character doesn't have any powers, and the main male character is basically like the prince, but he's like the top enforcer for the kingdom, and that's just kind of exactly what it sounds like. His power that he has is that he can harness other people's powers, so it's just very interesting. I'm excited to see how they interact more. We've already gotten like a taste of it, and I'm just excited. Like, even the banter with just like their very minimal conversation that they've had so far has been good, so I'm excited to see where it goes. The plan today, like, I would really love to make a huge dent in this book today. If I could get halfway through at least, I would be pretty happy. So that's what we're gonna go do. So similar to Hunger Games. I'm 241 pages in. It has been very quick reading. It's so similar. There was a quote that kind of, so he is so down bad, and I love that. This is the quote though that I feel like sums it up. If I am to be her enemy, I want it to be because she loathes herself for wanting me. Some of these interactions are very cringy, and they remind me of Red Queen. So now I'm starting to understand why people compare it to the Hunger Games and Red Queen. It's just like some parts of it feel too easy. Like, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It just doesn't feel believable, and that's like part of the reason why I didn't like Red Queen. It just felt so cliche. Well, I mean, it was still a decent book. Not that I didn't like it. I didn't like certain interactions. And I'm kind of feeling that way with some of these. Okay, I'm on page 417. chapter 52, and it's definitely veered off into Red Queen territory, is what it feels like now. I love how the two main characters interact together. I love them too. Everything else is falling a little bit flat. The politics, some of it feels a little cliche. I think I would eat this up in high school if I were to read it, but I don't know, it's lacking a little something now. Planning on finishing this today, but I did, and so I'm giving it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. It just felt like it was lacking a little bit. It felt like a little bit of like every other YA fantasy book that kind of annoyed me a little bit. I'm a little bit let down because this was hyped up so much, and maybe that's partly part of the problem, you know, because I thought it was gonna be so incredible, and it's just like it was good, it just wasn't like fantastic, you know. Like I said, I mean, I love the banter and the chemistry between the main male character and the main female character, but it just felt like it was lacking with the other characters. It felt like the things that she does and the things that she turns to, it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense in why it all happened so easily and so quickly. It feels like there would be more complications. It felt like the trials were just a copy paste of other trials that I've read, and I feel like you can take the trials idea in a fantasy book and do it in a completely unique way, and I just don't think that this was in a unique way. I feel like this was just, yeah, it was still good, like I said, and I am excited to read the next, like the novella and the second book, but it just wasn't quite what I was expecting. So that's where we're kind of at. It was super quick to read through though, so that was kind of nice. I don't feel like it was ever like very slow. It was pretty like fast paced. So I think I'm gonna just go ahead and go right into the novella, and we're gonna see what happens with that one. So here's the current update. I have read Powerful and Powerless. Wait, Powerless and Powerful. I think I got those switched. Yeah, Powerless and Powerful. I wonder how many times I'm actually gonna do that. Anyway, so after finishing Powerful, you saw my reaction to the ending, and I don't know what I was expecting. I think it was a great novella for what it was. It definitely gives you way more of a backstory of that character, and I loved it. To be honest, I thought Powerful, the novella, was better than Powerless. I know. And for quite a few reasons. I can't say anything without spoiling it, and I definitely don't want to spoil these. I've said it before in this video, and it just feels like Powerless very much was kind of a jumble between Hunger Games and Red Queen from what I remember of those books. It just didn't bring a different level to it or a different like twist, and that's kind of like what I was wanting. You can take an idea that has been done before and do it in a completely different way to where you don't have these comparisons. But in this one, it just wasn't that. It just felt like you took part of those two books and then put them in this book. However, I will say the chemistry and the banter between the two main characters in Powerless is, I think, way better than anything that was in the Hunger Games and what I read in Red Queen. I still haven't read the rest of the series of Red Queen, but still, it's just now that I'm reading it and after so many fantasies that I have read, especially in the YA genre, I just think that it was just missing a little bit. So I'm kind of hoping that Reckless ties up a few loose ends whenever I get to it. I don't know, just beefs up the plot a little bit to make me feel more involved, more, I don't know, I just want to see more. I want to see more from it. From what I've seen, usually like the second book in a trilogy is usually kind of a fluffer book to get you wanting to read the third book. I hope that Reckless isn't like that, but we'll see. If you watched my August TBR video, you know that I have a pretty diverse August TBR, and I wanted to throw in probably at least one book in between reading these 3 books. And I did do that. So I just finished The Brothers Hawthorne by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. That's it's part of the Inheritance games, but it's not. It's like a spin-off part of it. I don't know. But I read that and I feel ready to get back into this series. So I'm gonna go start on Reckless and we'll see where we go. We finished these, but there's still going to be another book to come out. So I'm sure there's going to be like a part 2 whenever that happens. And I also think that it kind of sounded like she's going to come out with another novella, because I saw she did some interview, or I don't remember what she was doing, but she was talking about Powerful because I guess some people were upset about like the smaller size of Powerful. I think it's really cute. I like it. But she was talking about it and said, you know, we did it on purpose. It's like this for a reason. It's cheaper this way with the print, and it will match. What did she say? It was like it'll match the other ones, or like it'll match another. I don't know what she said, but the way it sounded, it insinuates like another novella. I don't know who it's going to be about. I have a guess, maybe 2 guesses on who it could be about. Anywho, my thoughts. So I guess I didn't really say what I thought about Reckless. This is not Reckless. My thoughts on Reckless, not Powerful. It felt like a filler book. It really did. There's a scenario in the book that happens just for way too long. It's like the entirety of the book, and it felt like we got nowhere with the plot in this one. The banter between the 2 main characters, it's still impeccable. We just got nowhere. It felt like no actual development with the characters themselves. They felt like the exact same ones from the first book. And I know I'm trying not to hold it to too not high of a standard. It is a YA book, and I don't know if that's me like making a little bit of an excuse for it, because it doesn't have to be like this epic, incredible, super detailed type of book. But I did just want something more. I wanted something more. There's a POV in here that we did not need at all. It brought nothing to the story. I don't know why it was included. It gave us like a little nugget of something, but honestly, I feel like there could have been a different way to include it, and it's still like, it's like you're just as confused after the first book as you are at the end of Reckless. If you hear any whistling, my dog is snoring in the background. The ending of Reckless also just kind of annoyed me because I felt like it was predictable, and the way, like, we just get like the barest hint of a reaction from him, and it's like nothing. You don't get a reaction. Like, it then just ends. I don't know. I just wasn't super happy with it. Reckless, I would give more like a 3.5 out of 5 stars. Powerful, I don't think I rated that at all because it is so small, but it was better than the first book. So take that with what you will. I am still excited to see where it goes. It's just, I don't feel like I'm heavily involved in the characters. I just don't care all that much about what happens with them, and obviously like that's not really what you want with your readers. But the other thing, there are like some side characters that just like show up out of nowhere and then just like drop off. Like, what happens to them, who knows? And also the characters aren't like really bringing it up either, so it's kind of like they just forget that there's anyone else out there besides these two. Anyway, I don't know. I'm excited that I'm done. I'm happy that I finally tackled these books. And I know like sometimes my tastes don't align with like the mainstream book talk, and that's fine. That's completely fine. You can have your own opinion. I can have my own opinion. I'm just a little disappointed, but I'm still excited to read the next one. That is it. That's the end of this video. It took me a lot longer to get to Reckless than it did the first 2 books. I kind of like took a little bit of a break. I read a couple of books in between, and I think I even read a book while I was reading Reckless, just like to switch it up a little bit. It got a little boring in there, so yeah. Anyway, we're done. Woohoo! And now I guess we'll have to just wait until part 2 for the other ones. That's it for this video. So if you guys like this video, if you like my other videos, please make sure you are hitting the like button and subscribe. I am coming out with more videos soon. I don't know, I have a lot of exciting videos planned. I'm just not sure what I want to come out with next. Yeah, stay tuned, and I'll see you guys in the next one.